Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us once again tonight for the Discipline Therapy podcast with your two hosts, Suhey Sotomayor, and with me always, Mr. E.L. Discipline. But before we get into anything, let me just clear the air like we always do.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we know y'all fiends, and y'all know what that means. We have another dose because we're serving you your dose weekly of discipline therapy, where everything is completely free. See, if you subscribe, there's no monthly fee. It's free. It's judgment free, sucker free, censor free, sensitive free, and plenty of liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine or popcorn or roll a blunt, but the main thing is make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and vulgar conversation. Prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Debbie podcast.
We're
We're here. Looks like
here.
I'm gonna fight.
I
I like
know. I was like, he's very aggressive today with his
yeah.
intro.
All right.
All right. So today's topic, season 8, topic episode 83, here is the plan. So that's chapter 12 in Strong Bonds Never Break.
Great. All right. Bet.
And this is
Great.
a nice interesting topic too. Because I
Cool.
like to reread things, you know how I do.
All right.
Here's the plan.
All right. All right. So, oh man, I love talking about my books. So go ahead. You got the floor. If you got any questions,
Well, I just want to
concerns, comments.
more comment first and then we'll get into I'm too loud.
I'm
Oh, I thought you lowered me like no, you're too loud.
I'm a little.
Like we've discussed before with your previous books, you made Sophia very hard-headed, very action first, then ask questions later. In this chapter, you see she starts off very, how she in Sophia's fashion, very rah-rah, very,
Mm,
but it's nice and it's interesting throughout this chapter how that her demeanor changes. You
mm,
know what I mean? Like she starts off how she normally is, and then it's quickly, she has to like almost fend for herself.
mm.
And those that Dom has told her, you need to look out now for this. So when did you decide to say, you know what, we have to show the readers that she's not always this tough? Like what made you do that?
Um, the indoctrination of
Ooh.
like feminism and this ideology of strong independent, I don't need a man, boss bitch ideology is the reason. Even
Mm,
though I've created this book, it dropped March 14th, 2019. I was writing it in 2018.
mm.
Um, and I remember I came back from Hollywood
Mm-hmm.
October 12th through 13th, 2018. So 2018, I was writing it. Um, feminism is big now than it's ever been.
Okay.
So Sophia, the way I created her is she's tougher than some men. And
Mm-hmm.
Dom, that's a dialogue, that's verbatim. Dom says that to her
In this chapter?
in this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's tougher than some men. She is an ex broker in Wall Street, uh, um, a field that is notoriously dominated by men.
Yeah.
Um, and she does well in there. So she's like, I put her in situations even in the prequel, Stuck Between Two Different Worlds, where she's kind of blowing guys' heads off,
Mm-hmm.
kind of dominating men. So for me, bringing it back is like you can't forget she's a woman.
Right. Definitely not.
So as much as we have all these ideologies, boss bitch, independent, strong, which is like a defense mechanism. Most
Mm-hmm.
women that speak like that have been really hurt,
Mm-hmm. The trauma
um,
response.
jaded. Yes.
Yeah.
So what I did was I brought Sophia back to reality,
Yes, you did.
and Like I reminded the audience, I reminded even the fictional character, she's not just human, she's a woman.
Mm,
And that's a big difference from a man. So, with Sophia like going around like constantly, even in the stuck between two different worlds, you see her behaving like a man constantly.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? And she has to be dominant. But even that dominant woman will show her vulnerability, and it could be a spider walks into the room, caterpillar, butterfly,
oh, yes.
bee, whatever insects women
Mm,
are afraid of, tire blows out,
mm-hmm.
a burglar, or whatever it is, they get back into where they were designed to be and born to be. They start screaming, "Oh my God, I need a protector." You see, I've been in situations like
Mm-hmm.
this in a group of women. Saying, "Can you please kill this spider?" They'll come
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all strong, independent. I don't need a man. What's up? You see? So, I brought that with Sophia, bringing it back. Whereas here is the plan, the chapter,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking at the manuscript right now. Not the
The
book.
original. I see. I have
Yeah,
my book, and he has the original
yeah. I
manuscript.
want to keep. I want to let them keep watching
The
the
books.
books. But for me, I always keep my manuscripts. Like, when you send it into the
You're right.
the publishers, and then they get ready to format, they send you the deal and then the contract. And once you sign the contract, it's like they're gonna get ready to format it or whatever. I still keep everything.
So you
So
have all from all your books?
yeah,
Oh, that's
my
cool.
manuscript. I'm looking at the manuscript right now, just to refresh my memory. Because this book was really intricate. Some of the chapters were long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I want to remember every detail. So here is the plan. I bring that vulnerability. Now, mind you, the episode prior, episode 11, Ride or Die Woman.
Chapter.
I mean, yeah, chapter 11, Ride or Die Woman. Um, at the end, I think we talked about it. They get picked up by the feds.
Mm-hmm.
No, end of chapter 10, they get picked up by the feds. Yeah, the start of 11 is when they're already there.
Yes.
Okay, so towards the end of there, it said, "Here's the plan."
She asked him, "What's the plan? What's the
Yeah.
plan here?" Yeah.
And he says the plan is,
Mm-hmm.
and then he starts to talk about, that he's gonna take the fall for this. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, spoiler alert. So there's gonna be spoilers here. So make sure you read the chapter, Strong Bonds Never Break,
Mm-hmm.
also the book, before you watch the video. Because we're not, especially me, I'm not gonna hold back on giving things away. I know Suhei doesn't like that, but
But
It's
we all know he
it's
doesn't
it's
listen to me.
season 8 now. It's time.
Yeah.
Y'all had enough time. The book
Yep.
was published 2019. Y'all had enough time to read the book, get the book. So if you're lost, that's on you. Okay, so he says here's the plan, and as a protector, as a provider, for his family, he says he's gonna take the fall for this.
Mm.
And that doesn't sit well with Sophia.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I think it's because she like knows, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? Because that's exactly what happened, in this chapter. She's like, what, I can't do this without you.
Yeah, and that's the irony because in stuck between two different worlds, even you said it, it was the premiere. They need to go back, episode 81, when she observes a woman at the monitor. She goes on the top of the stairs. Is that the bitch? Walks up, Estrella, Dom, Sophia, they're all in that
Mm-hmm.
scene. And then they start, oh, you're one of many, but he comes home every night. Key word. So in a way, I feel like she took Dom presence for granted, and
Mm-hmm.
now he's gonna be gone for a little bit because he's taking the rap. So it's like in a way, it's like it's surreal for her. You know what I'm saying? It's not hitting her yet. Like, wait a minute, what? No, the attorney's coming for the both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, he's coming for you. I'm gonna take the fall for this. What, are you crazy? So now, like, but before all of that, he starts to explain why they're in this situation.
Yeah. Reminding her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now and I spoiled this already. She blew the capo's head off. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
know who he was. in Miami that's stuck between two different worlds. She blew his head off. So now he's like reminding her, yeah, remember that guy that I told you
Mhm.
about that might be somebody prominent? Well, he wasn't a small time thug.
I like how she, even in this, and you can kind of tell that it's because of her own, because she's worried. She even still tries to blame him.
Narcissistic.
She's like, "This isn't my fault. This is your fault
Hmm.
because you should have told me, and you should have." Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's her panic setting in.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And the reality is this goes back to her with the shoot first, ask questions last,
Mhm.
literally, personality. This goes back to that. It goes back to her not listening, the
Mhm.
overzealous,
Which is what he tells her.
presumptuous. Yeah,
Mhm.
they both fucked up though, and this is where he's trying to tell her
Mhm.
why we're in this situation currently. We're both at the station, and I got picked up. I met the mob boss, so now he gave me all the details, and oh, why didn't you tell me about this? She slaps him.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You put everybody at risk, the kids, everything. You sold the kids bonds. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like, now, it's like, fuck you, this macho, you think you could do it yourself. You should have involved me. Maybe I was able to help, right? And he's like, he
Just like
told
how
me,
you helped
no, he
before.
said he told me not to tell anybody. And
Mm.
if you knew about it, I couldn't trust that you would remain calm and not take it upon yourself to do things.
Right.
You see, because of how she is. So now when she learns that, she's like, "Oh, it is my fault."
Yeah.
And like, cause I had to reread this. She's like, "Oh fuck, it is my fault." She takes accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, now Dom is like, let me
Well,
see.
he's giving her the, the pep talk. This is you can do this. You have to do this. You have to watch the kids. You have to take care.
Yeah, well,
Make sure Estrella's there with
yeah,
you.
so he made sense why he should take the fall and she shouldn't, because she
Mhm.
wanted to do it. Oh, it's my fault. I'm gonna do it. He's like, no, it's better if you're out there because, like on the board, which I use in verbatim with Dom, like on the board of chess, the queen moves in ways the king can't. So you need to be my eyes and ears
Mhm.
outside. You need to protect the kids. Just tell them I'm away on vacation for a little bit. Um, and I think he says he wants to stay involved.
Yeah. Well, he told her he wants both of them, to be at the arraignment
Mm-hmm.
because he needs both of them.
Support. And
Yep.
she didn't want that.
No.
Because
No.
they're
But
still
she
not.
still does it though. She still calls her and lets her know everything that happened.
Yeah, because she felt that,
She
and
hangs up on
anybody
her,
could,
but she does tell her
if anybody could understand,
what she's feeling.
it
Yeah.
would it would be her. She
Mhm.
told Lisa. Lisa was like, "Oh, anything you do, anything you need, I'll help. Whatever with kids, whatever."
Mm.
But then, if
Not the
anybody else
same.
would understand, it was her. They argue. Asteria blames her. They go back and forth. Sophia hung up. So, it's crazy how I did this with women.
Yeah.
I'm a man, and but I'm also into my femininity, which is a lot. That puts me on like it
On
puts me
top.
in the top 10 of
Mhm.
men. It puts me on a different category of men, different realm of men. It's already difficult for us to show vulnerability. It's easy for women to show vulnerability. They're born that way.
Mm.
So, you look at a different perspective on part of that scene when Dom is leaving and she's crying. I've never showed Sophia cry.
Right. Well, she has the tear
Yeah,
come down. Yeah.
yeah, sobbing a little bit. So, and she gives him a kiss goodbye, which they
Mhm.
don't really kiss. It's
Right. They
not
don't
like
really
they
show affection towards each
Yeah, they
other.
don't wake. They sleep in the same bed, but they're not cuddling. They're not.
Mhm.
Hey, wake up! Hey, like they wake up at different times, right? She's cooking, got the kids ready to go to school. It's not like he walks into the kitchen, gives her a kiss. Hey, what's for dinner? It's
Mhm.
more like, hey, what's for breakfast? Okay, grab. Have a nice day. Back turned while he's talking, or
Right.
she turns her back while he's sitting down eating, reading the newspaper. She turns her back. All right, be back later. No
Right. There's no
kiss. There's
connection.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, and that's a lot of the marriage life. once you have these kids,
Yeah, that's
forget
true.
about sex, forget about all that, because
At least for a few years.
now you gotta plan that shit. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's like I try to make it as real as possible.
Yeah.
In pertaining to their dynamic. But you see that vulnerability, and now I put her in a position where she has to appreciate his absence
Mm,
because she kind of didn't appreciate his presence.
that's true.
You know, as far as and I don't want to blame mostly Sophia, because it's Dom also because he did hid the life from her in the first book,
That's true.
and Estrella.
But you did say that he did try to bring it up, and she shot down.
Yeah, yeah, but now I put blame on Sophia also, so it's
Hmm.
two people that I blame because she's not doing her job as a wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just being like domestic submissive. She'll still bring him his plate and cook and clean, but it's about actually being affectionate, listening, cooperation,
Mm,
affection, sex when he wants. Um, and you see certain parts in the book where he kind of wants to engage with her, but oh, I got all this stuff to do, and what I'm
yeah.
saying. So it's like, okay, whatever it
Like
is,
he tries, but
yeah,
mm.
even
I mean, I think they both try. Not. It's like they just keep missing where when they've tried. You know what I mean?
that's a good point.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Because she did try, when in the first book, in the opening of his club,
mhm,
she even told Lisa.
mhm.
So I do think that they try. It's just,
So towards the end, when he's like, "I'm gonna take the rap for this," blah blah blah. Bang hammers on the door. Hey, don't make sure the cuffs ain't tight, motherfucker. Like
mm,
he says that to the guys. And when they talk about the chess analogy, she's like, "Yeah, but the king is the most prominent piece, and now our king is captured."
mm-hmm,
And then he's like, but the game's not over.
yeah,
And then he's motivating her using psychology and is like, you're right here, you're a smart woman, you're resilient, a hustler, harder than most men I know.
mm-hmm,
You're the embodiment of ride or die. And that's one of the reasons why I married you. And then he says, you'll figure it out. Real hustlers always do. There's no can't or no when they see an obstacle.
mm,
Use those survival instincts. Like this part I love because these cops are dirty. And that's why they're
yeah,
able to they got them. You know what I'm saying? The feds went to the place or whatever, the footprints,
mm-hmm,
that was the evidence. Um Now while they're escorting Dom to his cell, he's doing what he does best, talking,
mm,
manipulating, seeing how he
talking
can
his shit.
seeing how he can mentally dominate them in a way where he can get out of this without having possibly going to trial, whatever it is. So he's asking him, yo, so what does Gambino pay y'all? Whatever he's paying y'all, I'll double or triple. They remain quiet. Maybe it's not about money. Is he using violence?
Mm,
Going after your families?
mm-hmm,
A guy pauses. So then I narrated, Dom read the body language. Maybe he's right about what he said. Because sometimes that's like a psychological game.
yeah,
You could say something to somebody, and if you don't have the right poker face on, or you just flinch a little bit, they tell you the truth.
yep. Or
So it's like,
their body movements.
yeah.
Mm-hmm,
So I can antagonize you some way that's gonna get you frustrated, and you may not react like aggressively,
right.
but if you kind of like show me whether it's angry face
Or a
or
sigh or something.
or your body language, kind of like you kind of just twitch, like you give yourself away.
Mm-hmm,
So that's what the guard does. He kind of twitches or jerks, and Dom observes that, and he's like, maybe that's it. But he kept
mm-hmm,
mental documentation. I just narrated it that way. And then what did it say? You're reading that part?
mm-hmm,
Yes. So he says, is that how he's controlling you? Don't worry, fellas. You and I will be seeing each other in the future, but maybe on the flip side. One of
mm-hmm,
the guys says, one of the officers says, "Shut up," and then he aggressively pushes him into the cell. lights out.
Yeah. Then it jumps back to Sophia going to pick up the kids.
Sophia's in a position now where it's almost like she's a single mom. That's
Yeah,
scary.
that is scary.
Because even though you might fight and argue, whatever, remember I said in season the premiere, they're both traditional, they're not going anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
but they need each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. So it's like he's still helping out around the house, the kids, etc. Now she has to do everything by herself. Alongside still being that CEO, ordering, visiting, deposits, whatever it is, making sure inventory is right, the salons, whatever, Wall Street. So she still has to do her dominant day to day.
Still be strong for the kids.
Yeah.
You can't
So
just break down just because you're
yeah.
scared.
So now it's extremely overwhelming.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's extremely overwhelming. And now she, she went to go visit him, right? And they're talking to what, the glass?
Mm-hmm. With the phone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
And
he
they're code
tells,
words.
yes,
Yo, you haven't been throwing any parties lately, right? You haven't been
crashing the cars.
yeah, crashing the cars.
That one made me laugh.
Yeah, and then she's like, no. And then I narrated like blowing people's head off, being on
Mm.
being on your best behavior. She's like, no, I've been on my best behavior. Um, so now they start talking about
The bond hearing.
yeah.
And that's when he tells her to bring Estrella for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she fought him.
Yeah.
I don't want that bitch there, you know. And then he's like, just make sure you both are there. I want you both sitting, side by side supporting me. So the funny thing about this this part is the attorney. So Sophia's attorney,
Mm-hmm.
she mentions they don't have any solid evidence. Um, the footprints were found at the scene, but it's admissible. I watch a lot of Law and Order,
Mm.
so that's how I kind of created these scenes. Um, and the
Yeah, it was
process,
very good, by the way,
the
because I
prosec
just went through.
yeah, the prosecutor is pretty much like, Your Honor, um, Dominic's very wealthy. He's a flight risk.
Mm-hmm.
He's a danger to society. He clearly knew these members of law enforcement were law enforcement, and he did it intently with
Intent to kill.
yes. So now, like, objection, blah blah blah. He's not a flight risk. He,
His business is here, his family's here, his kids go to
donates,
school here.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
donates to the fire department, police department. He's employed people less
No record.
fortunate than him. Yep. So like, let me see. And then the persecutor's like, he's capable of anything if he can kill two police officers with full malice and intent.
Mm.
A man like Dominic Jean is a danger to society and people around him. And then I narrated. It was as if it was a verbal boxing match going on.
Mm-hmm.
So then, it's going back and forth. I just want to run it for people. And then he says, I'll reiterate, he's a legitimate businessman with no public record,
Mm-hmm.
no record or whatever, and he got a clean license. So now the judge, well, first, Estrella and Sophia notice, and I think I've always pictured film, right? So I always like
Me
envision this in
too.
my head before I wrote it. So I see Estrella and Sophia sitting next to each other, right? Both in business attire, right? You're dressed appropriate to
To court.
court,
Mm-hmm.
not like,
Tube top.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
shit like that. Come on. So like they're both in like business attire, both sitting next to each other. They're not like, I see them both kind of stare at each other and get like a mean mug,
Mm.
and then they both stare straight ahead. But they both notice that the federal prosecutor and the judge are kind of buddy buddy.
Yeah.
So they both look at each other and kind of give them like, "Did you see that?"
Mm-hmm.
Nonverbal.
Right.
So now, what now? The attorney just the no, I'm sorry. The judge shuts it down due to counsel's arguments and pretrial service reports and recommendation. The court finds no combination and conditions that can assure the defendant's appearance to trial. The defendant is a businessman, and with that history, it shows he travels frequently and leaves the country for work. Yes, he's tremendously wealthy and with many resources. So then the judge forcefully slams the gavel, and he calls to punctuate the ruling and yells out, "Therefore, bail is denied."
How did you get that part? Like all that like uh lawyer type talk, government judge, you know what I'm trying to say, court talk. There we go. Because I was reading it, because like I said, I reread it. I was like,
I
damn.
I have attorneys who are friends
Ah,
also.
there you go. Because
Yeah,
that
so
really sounded super
yeah,
legit. I was like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So I have attorneys who are friends, yeah. So so when I ran that by them, I was like, yo, this good?
They were like, yeah, take this word out and add this one.
Yeah. No,
That's awesome.
they didn't say
No,
that.
I
They were
know.
just like, "Oh yeah, that's perfect the way you did it."
Yeah. So this is very,
Mhm.
very well written. Anyway, but go ahead.
Yeah, so then he's like, the defendant will be remanded into custody and await trial.
Mm,
So both Estrella and Sophia were upset. Dominic was furious. And then when he and Sophia's lawyer go to the cubicle, this is the part I love.
yes.
He said, "What happened in there? How did you allow that pencil fucking neck looking, geek asshole in there beat you? I thought we had it." And then the attorney spoke softly. "Something doesn't feel right about this case." And then Dom's like, "Yeah, you're right. If he's face to face with him, you're right. Something is not right about it. It's you. You're fucking fired." So then, are you serious? So now I didn't stutter. You can excuse
Yeah.
yourself now. So now when he talks to Sophia, Sophia's like, "¿Qué haces?" You know, what the fuck happened? And then he tells him, "Yo, I fired him." "Why'd
Mm.
you do that for?" Blah, blah, blah. He's like, "I know somebody." So Sandra,
The-
which is gonna be another
Introduced.
introduced, is I don't think she's introduced here, but in chapter
And
13,
yes.
Strong Bonds Never Break, is the attorney Dom's talking about.
Yeah.
So
That was a nice surprise all around.
yeah, so so now Dom is in the cell, and this is playing a big factor with him because he's usually in control.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I wrote this based off experience.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a major test for his sanity. Um,
Definitely.
you know, um, and now, well, remember when we were talking about how we didn't meet Robert yet?
Right.
We met Bill.
Right.
Bill's Dom's long time friend, and he helped him with the Gambino situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, same book. So now he meets Robert,
Yeah, he
and
saves them.
it's the lunchroom, the prison lunchroom scene.
Mm-hmm.
So Robert, the way I describe him is like he's weak,
Skinny.
small,
Yeah.
skinny, like geeky,
Frail looking.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
geeky, intelligent, geeky type of looking kid. Um, and he's getting picked on.
Mm.
So Dom steps in, like, leave him alone. And then they're like, "Yo, this isn't your business, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah." He's like, "Well, I'm making it my business now." It's four guys against two. Well, now it's
We're
four
really
guys
one.
against one
Yeah.
because Dom is pretty much stepping in front of
Right.
the kid. So now one of the ringleaders, Dom notices the ringleaders is one that's talking the most, like "fuck you, nigga," or like, "You don't want this, whatever, blah, blah, blah." And then he says, it may not be verbatim, I'm just running through it.
Mm-hmm.
Dom says, "Y'all should just walk away because this is not a problem that you want."
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, please walk away. So I remember I posted something on my Instagram before the premiere was coming
Season 8
about
premiere?
the season 8 premiere,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And I said that in my caption, "We all have a dark side." It was when I put like a dialogue of Dom going to a woman's house to find
Mm-hmm.
Sophia, trying to bring her back. In my caption, I said, "We all have a dark side we try to hide. But sometimes some people or something brings us back
Mm-hmm.
to that."
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
Dom Dom's an ex street thug. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to live a straight, narrow life.
Mm-hmm.
So when he says this is a problem you don't want, he knows what he's capable of.
Right.
They don't. They're like they're thinking it's like Superman fighting just some regular civilians.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So now what happens is this guy's laughing like, yo, this nigga's scared. That's why he's telling us whatever it is. It's 4 against 1. And if you think about it.
Right.
So then he's like, man, get this nigga. So one at a time, they're approaching Dom.
Yep. And he's
And
kicking their
since
ass.
yeah, and he's a ex-boxer, martial
Martial artist.
artist that I describe his fighting style.
Mhm.
Now, because he's an ex-street thug, like street fighting, there's no rules.
Right.
So
And you're in jail.
yeah, so when the first guy approaches him, Dom like punches him in the throat,
Mhm.
and then the guy's holding his throat in agony. The second guy, he pokes him in the eye.
Mhm.
The other guy breaks his leg.
Yeah.
The other guy breaks his arm. And then now they're all 4 of them
They're
are
all
hurt.
fucked up.
One pulls out a knife, you know what I'm saying? And it's like the way I describe his fighting style, I think about it of like Steven Seagal, like in like Mark for Death
Yeah, yeah.
and Hard to Kill,
Yeah.
those 1990 films, um, um, Bruce Lee,
Brucey, I'll take.
Chuck Norris, like that's his fighting style.
Right.
So usually Steven Seagal breaks a lot of wrists. He does a lot of this and that. So Dom has the same type of fighting style as that, and he's also an ex-boxer. So these guys are in agony now, and now the guards coming in, breaking everything up. Oh, blah blah blah. So I thought that was cool. Now
Yeah, I like
everything
that.
is settled. Dom sits down
To eat.
to eat, and the Robert comes sit next to him, and he said, "Oh my god, that was so cool." Da, da, da. He's rambling on, and
Yeah,
like
he's a chatterbox.
I just picture Dom just eating, just looking at him with a dark stare, and then he says, "You know, you should stop talking right now.
Yeah.
You know, like you should be quiet." And then
He was
he's like,
excited. He saved his life.
"Yeah." So then he noticed though. He's like, "Wait a minute, did you just say you're a technical geek or something like that?"
Mhm.
He's like, "Maybe you can help me." So he helps him get the burner, like a
And
cell phone.
yeah, and he also tells him that he's gonna try to get when he gets out, he's gonna try to get him out and get him
Yeah,
a
get him
job.
a job.
Yeah,
Yup.
and that's when we find out how he wound up in there anyway. Because
Robert.
how yeah,
Yeah.
like you're nerdy. How the hell did you what were you doing?
Yup.
And he lets him know. Well, I was part of a.
Yeah. Yeah, they could find that out. I have to tell them that.
You have a lot of in this one chapter, like a lot of little stories in it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
first, you start out with him and Sophia in the precinct. Then it moves to her and her house. You know, on the phone with Estella, to her meeting him. You know, talking to him behind the glass walls on the phone, to the court, to the now you know in the cafeteria. So you have in one chapter so much movement, so much going on. That's
Mhm.
nice. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, this wasn't that long of a chapter because I didn't wanna focus on it more. I wanted to
Mhm.
get into like the other one, Strong Bonds Never Break, chapter 13, and and really like get into the trial aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like when he contacts Sophia with the burner cell phone, she's like, you know, who is this? And you know, he says, how did I get this or whatever? A
Mhm.
kid here. Oh, you just be making friends wherever you go. Smart mouth, right?
Yeah. Still,
Sarcastic. Oh, you just be
still.
making friends wherever you go, huh? So you know, so now like you know, he's like he's telling her because she's like she's still apprehensive about, you know, when are you gonna get out? You know, I gotta keep lying to the kids. You know, how am I gonna do this? You know, I
Mm.
gotta do everything myself. And then he's like still encouraging her.
Yeah.
You know, you're a phenomenal woman. You're great with numbers. You're a whiz in Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you won't. You know, you can remember this shit. You know what I'm
Yeah, because she
saying? You
said,
could
"How am
do
I
this.
supposed to know? You know, when you're calling me now?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whiz with numbers. Like, come on.
Mhm.
So that's now he's using reverse psychology. Come on, you're a whiz with numbers. You were in an industry that's notoriously dominated by men. You telling me you can't remember this?
Yeah. He's
So
good like that with her. He knows how to get her back on track.
hmm
I like that.
yeah, so now like he says, I found out. Oh, he this says, anyways, I've been thinking about the trial and something doesn't look right or sit
Mhm.
right with the judge. Find out what you can on the judge on my case. I feel like he's corrupt.
Mhm.
Here is the plan. So in every chapter, I've um I've reiterated the title
Right.
purposely
Mhm. I like that too.
by a character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether we did checkmate
Mhm.
last episode, they said checkmate. This one here is the plan. I figured I would implement it towards the end, and then I put those dots
Yeah,
as
yeah.
like
Yeah,
cliffhangers.
yeah.
Yeah, so I figured I would, put that in the end instead of in the beginning, because in the beginning of the chapter he says, what did he say? He says, the plan is,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? But he doesn't say here's the plan. She's like, so what's the play here?
Yeah.
End of chapter 11. So what's the plan here? And then he says the plan is, I'm gonna
They want
choose
us to
to take the
choose, yeah.
fall. They want us to choose who's gonna take the fall. Um, because when he got the call, it was like,
And they obviously knew that he wasn't gonna let Sophia take the rap for it. You know what I mean? Like who would? Wait, what
because
man would?
Gambino
Exactly.
wanted
No,
him.
right, exactly. So he did it specifically. Like, all right, grab him. Say who's gonna do it. You could only choose one. He's not gonna let her, the mother of his children, do it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That was a
So
good setup. Nicely
yes.
done, sir. Nicely done.
Thanks. So now, with the here's the plan, I leave that cliffhanger, um, so people could be like, okay, what's next? What's next? Because
Yeah.
that was a goal of mine. Like I wanted a page turner
Yeah.
of a book. I didn't want to give too much away in one chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to like be a continuous thing. Like, yo, I can't put this book down. I gotta
Yeah.
keep when then I gotta go to work tomorrow. No, I just want
I'm gonna
just
be
a few
tired.
more, just a few more.
Yeah.
Women have told me that too in the
Yeah.
past.
Definitely.
So, um, so that's like that's the biggest thing. And I remember when he's telling her and when they're in the interrogation room, and he tells her everything that happened, and she's like, why wouldn't you tell me? You can't win with the mob. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, why wouldn't you tell me? Maybe we could have figured something out together. Um, so I love that. So here is the plan.
Yeah, I like how you make you put the chapter titles in the actual, chapter. Somebody saying, I like that. That's a
Yeah,
nice twist.
yeah,
And it's a nice like reminder to the chapter that you just read. So that was good.
yeah. So I figured that, you know, when chapter 13, we don't have that chapter in this season, but chapter 13, Strong Bonds of a Break, is the title of the
Of the
book.
book, yeah.
So now, you know, I'm just gonna just say this one thing about it, and then we'll do our final thoughts.
Okay.
Strong bonds never break. Now it's gonna it's gonna it's gonna create a bond with other characters
Mm-hmm.
away from Dom.
But strengthen his and Sophia's because their
Ye-
bond was strong to begin with from
through
the past.
criminality, not
Eh,
not like
Right. Well, and to the children,
okay,
but definitely like what you said, obviously there's going to be bonds created and formed that are going to be very strong.
yeah,
And then the bond that he has with her through this experience alone gets strengthened.
hmm
You know what I mean?
yeah. So I have so I have it like that's what the core chapter. That's what the chapter is about. Like the core of the chapter, strong bonds never break. We're gonna see the bond. We're gonna see the alliances being created.
Mm-hmm.
Because the the pins are stacked against them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Dom already gets a hunch that the judge could be corrupt and the prosecutor. He already knows that the officers that locked them up
Yeah.
are,
Mm-hmm.
but now he's getting a hunch because it's like, yo, why wouldn't he even give me bail?
Especially when his lawyer was making good points, like
Yeah,
towards it. Well,
yeah. So now,
you.
yeah. So now me,
His
yeah,
lawyer is so good.
yeah. So now I'm like, I put that together where I could say, okay, they're not. It's like they're not gonna win, but maybe they have a chance if they can create some type of bond. It's
Mm-hmm.
like strange bedfellow.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right. Like they have to
yeah,
now work together.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
when he's like, okay, so here is the plan. You're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
So now he's in a way he's like he's gonna give Sophia instructions because at the end of the day, a woman can be so strong and constantly making decisions, but she's gonna come to you eventually for
Well, I think for that reassurance, like this is my plan. What do you think? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
or just she's gonna come to you because she's indecisive.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much pressure. You know what I'm saying? It's too much pressure. And, you know, she, like you said, she wants that camaraderie. Because
Mm-hmm.
that women are like women in this modern era are built like that as far as the partnership aspect. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for that, like she doesn't know what the fuck to do because this is not her style. Like I want to create I think we did make a chapter about this. It's nothing personal, just business.
Yeah, we did.
We did. But I wanna probably get into that again because what Dom is doing now, here is the plan. He's gonna try to mold Sophia like him because
Yeah.
Sophia is not that. That's
Yeah.
why she's coming to him like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
She's used to just punching people in the face, doing this, doing that. But like Dom's like, here is the plan.
Right.
And when you're saying here is the plan, you're building a strategic mindset.
Right.
You're building discipline. You're
Mm-hmm.
building like, yo, we gotta move step by step. That's not something Sophia does.
Right. That's what I
She,
was gonna say. She's also used to him taking control, to
yeah,
being in charge. Like he's always been the one to be like, "This is what we're gonna do."
yeah. And even though he's not in control, he still
He's still in
is.
control,
So
right?
he's like, yo, here is the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, in a way, if you think about it, he's gonna make it easier for her because it's not like he's saying,
Figure it
yo,
out.
figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out how you're gonna do to get me out of here. He's like, yo, here is the plan. I'm gonna tell you. Well, I don't want to give the episode 13 away,
Oh,
but
chapter.
chapter 13 away. But he's like, he's gonna put her in a position to be successful so they could both be good.
Right.
Because him being in there doesn't do her good either.
Of course not.
So it's like when he's like, yo, here is the plan, he's trying to mold her like him. And I love that because like, yo, this is the core of Sophia's
Yeah.
transformation.
Yeah.
This is the core of Sophia's transformation, you
It's
know?
exciting to see also.
Yes. Now in the last book, I don't know if she goes back to her old ways,
You guys
but
are
you
just gonna
guys
have
gonna have
to
to
buy
get
it
buy
or
all
wait
three of them.
until wait until we start talking about that one.
Yeah, but that's what I love. It's the core of him. This is the teacher aspect. This is
Yeah.
the master aspect.
Mm.
Here is the plan. So it's like in this moment, how Sophia doesn't like to listen,
Mm-hmm.
but in this moment, she's like, listen,
I have no choice.
yeah,
Yeah. That was a good one.
yeah,
Nicely done, sir.
yeah.
Nicely done. I think this book was definitely like you said, a page turner. You even like going from one book to the next to the third one, your abilities to have that cliffhanger has got always gets better and better and better.
Yeah,
Your cliffhangers, you're good with them.
yeah, I'm a great
And
storyteller.
yeah, you are. And it's also so nice to see like a character that you've created so, one way because um up until now she has been so, so Sophia, like you even made like the other main character a little joke about how she is, what did you call her? Um
Sensitive gangster.
no, 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 something Sophia. Quick draw
Oh,
Sophia.
trigger happy.
Trigger happy Sophia, right?
Yeah, trigger
Because
happy
she,
Sophie.
the woman, doesn't stop and think, and she's always so combative. and then to see the change throughout the book is really, I think it's a really amazing thing.
Trigger happy Sophie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so
I
funny,
want to
and
get
she
into
gets
that.
pissed off at that too.
Yeah, I want to get into that. But um like this book, this series, how I created Sophia, you know, I wanted to I wanted to have women read about her and see that there's consequences to the not listening,
Mm,
especially to your man or whatever it is. Like,
mhm,
especially if you see that, like, this man really does have my best interest at heart, but I'm so fucked up and jaded that I'm sabotaging it now,
yeah,
and I'm trying to find bad things about him to make me feel good because he's just too perfect.
mm,
So, or and it's like, no, I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? I make my own money, or whatever. So I wanted to do that because Sophia is that strong, independent, make your own money.
yeah,
So now when he's gone for a little bit, you see the vulnerability.
yeah,
You know what I'm
and you
saying?
see her freaking out.
Yeah, and I wanted to show, yo, what happens when it's not just women, but people. What happens when you're too emotional and you're not rational and you're not logical and you're not thinking with your mind, you're
Mhm,
thinking with your heart or you're thinking with your actions? What happens when you're too overzealous?
yep,
What happens for every action there's a reaction.
yep,
There's consequences to everything. So it's like this stuff with the couple, you know, it's like I make it come back now.
mhm.
And now when he brings it to reality and he makes her aware, she's like, shit, this is my fault. She takes accountability. I should be taking the rap. She takes accountability. Most people, when they go through something, they'll go through it forever. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna get caught. I'm gonna do this. I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna listen. I'm
Mm,
getting my way. Eventually it happens and they're like, shit, I should have listened. Oh, I should have did this. I
yeah,
should have did that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like if you have somebody who's telling you things that could be conducive to your health, your growth, and you're just looking at him, oh, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? It could be
mm.
like the stuff I've said in the past about put your clothes back on, about the
Right,
women.
don't show your body parts, you're
Yeah,
saying.
or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Oh, fuck him. I make money, women empowerment. And then they see down the line the type of men that they get, what's in their DMs, that they probably oh, I finally found the guy I want, but he was wearing a mask. 3 months down the later, she finds out he had a girl, wife,
Mm,
whatever. That could have been the reason.
yeah,
You see, so but then they start to realize, shit, I should have listened.
yeah,
So this is why I do this. I did this with Sophia, having her have it all, um but also when it comes to that relationship aspect, and how he has her best interest at heart, how she's so emotional, and I never make the characters lose sight of who they are.
mhm,
So because I the character analysis, her Achilles heel is her emotions, sensitive gangster. I always put those into play. So it's like she never lose sight of who she is. She's making bad decisions because she has an attitude, because she
mhm,
doesn't listen,
and she has a
because
temper.
she has a temper, because her emotions are her and her sensitivity is her
Downfall.
Achilles heel. She
Mhm,
doesn't have emotional intelligence. So when you don't have those things or you're too overzealous, you're always gonna make bad mistakes,
yep,
bad choices. So that's what I wanted to implement with that. And like I said, this part of here is the plan, that cliffhanger, that is the core to her transformation. You're gonna see. This
chapter
is when
13.
we really see the boss.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I
In
tell
her?
in her,
Come out, yep,
and I
mhm,
tell the Sophia story moving forward. This is
mm,
when we really see a boss.
yeah,
Not you making all this money and paying your bills and stuff like that. That's not boss. We really gonna see the boss because she's
mm,
taking care of shit.
yep. Do we get to talk about 13 in this, season?
We don't have it, but we
But in
should.
oh, we don't, not even in another, season coming up?
No, I think we should.
Yeah, maybe that could be a bonus,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know you guys want it. You wanna know
yeah.
where Sophia, you wanna know the nitty-gritty about Sophia.
Yep. We did chapter 14 already, so we don't need to reiterate.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that.
Right.
I got a lot of books. Got
Sophia
a lot of
Sunday,
titles.
Sophia Saturday. Oh shoot!
Yeah.
Look at me coming up with
You have any final
topics.
thoughts?
Just that you guys need to go and get not just these three, but just get all 7 books because they're all good. That's it.
Yeah. My final thoughts are, I had fun writing this these chapters, you know. And I like that I took Dom out of the equation for a little bit
Yeah.
because I wanted, and people could already guess, but I'm not gonna say it. I wanted some characters, plural, to build something. And they weren't gonna do it while he was around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Definitely.
wanted to I wanted to put it in a I wanted to put a situation where if we both have something in common, that might build something
Mm-hmm.
positive.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah, I'm
like
not gonna
the
give it
enemy of
away.
my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Straight yeah,
I
mhm.
also like how in this book you take some of that control away from him, and now we get to see how he reacts also to an a situation and an environment and the people around him. Now he doesn't have control of any of that,
Yeah,
so that's fun. It's fun to see how them two are
yeah,
out of their own elements
yeah.
in this book.
But you know what's so crazy? A real alpha, a real dominant, fuck all that money and economic status and
Mm,
shit like that. A real dominant, a real alpha, a real boss, a real gangster dominates wherever they go. Remember, when Dom saved that kid, and I didn't mention this, but it's in the book that they
mhm.
said it. The guys was like, yo, stay away from that nigga. He's
Mhm.
crazy. So
Mhm.
they gave him fear and respect.
Yes.
So even though he didn't have control in there, he gained fear and respect
Yeah.
from not just the inmates, guards.
Mm.
Got a burner from the kid.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? He was able to get stuff. He was treated like a king almost in there.
Mm.
So like that says a lot
About his character.
about his character.
Yeah.
Because when you're in that circumstance, you don't have power. They freeze your assets.
Yep. They tell you when to wake up,
They
when
freeze
to
your
eat.
finances.
Mhm.
Especially if they're gonna look into shit. They freezing things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they do that so you don't have access of anything.
Mhm.
So when you can still have access, thing that's a boss.
That's true.
Yeah. So I've did that with that. So even though he's not in control, he still is, and that's the definition of what real dominant a real alpha is. Like
Mm.
you could dominate wherever you go.
Definitely.
Yeah. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, you were tuned into Discipline Therapy Podcast.
Peace.
Peace.